Good morning, everyone. My name is Lori Lytle, and I'll be hosting today's Thursday training. So today what we're going to focus on, last week we did build this report comparing MI, but in the end I wanted to show reinvestment of level payments. We didn't quite get that far. So I'm going to really today focus on the tools within Edge. What we're going to do is go through the apps, the Mortgage Coach app as well as our RateWatch app, show you how to download those, and I encourage you, if you have your mobile device, walk it through with me, download it, because then you can use these tools with our Q&A, because I'm going to be working with Edge Live. If you have the mobile app downloaded, you can type in that link and follow along so you can see how your borrower is going to see exactly what the report does using Edge Live. So we use Edge Live. We're going to go into the reinvestment strategy, show you how to do level payments, reinvest mortgage insurance, as well as providing information into the savings and investment accounts. We'll also work on changing the different strategies in the long term as well as the short term, changing the years. And then I'm also going to show you how to rearrange products. That was a question we had last week. And what we'll do is, there's no way to really delete it, but I can show you a way where you can move the products from slot 1 to maybe product 3, but you can also use the same tool if you're building a report and want to create an open house flyer and use the same products, or vice versa. When you create an open house flyer, you want to use those products exactly the way they are, you'd be able to use this technique and be able to copy it, make it really easy for you. So first of all, let's go ahead, and what I want to focus first on is our app. So just one moment, let me go ahead and get my reflector up. There we go. Just one moment. When you're in your app store, it could be on the iOS device or the Android. What you want to do is a search for Mortgage Coach. And with that, you'll get two apps. You have our Mortgage Coach app, and this will be able to allow you to review your reports on a mobile device, your iPad, which is what I'm using, your iPhone or an Android phone, and same with tablets. So you want to come in here, and you would download. Both of those are free. You have the RateWatch app besides your desktop version. We just released an app a couple of weeks ago, so this is another piece you want to download. So while I'm talking, why don't you take your time and download, just again, search for Mortgage Coach. You'll have both apps, and then download those apps. So next what I want to do is, whoops, not that. Let's go over to our apps itself. So I do have our RateWatch app. Let's take a look at that first. And with this, what you'll have is the app, and it'll provide you all the information about the mortgage-backed securities. So right now I'm looking at our day watch. So you can see how, or the monthly watch here. So you can see this is our home screen. If you click on the, in this particular case, I'm clicking on the little icon here, which opens up the side. So you have your home screen, which will show all the a time period which you want to be able to look at. You have the day watch. If you want to specifically just look at today and the movement of today, you have day watch. Let me move back over. If once you start doing reports, you want to see your alerts, they'll be listed in our alerts in this section. Same with the Edge views. I'm sorry, Edge views for email alerts come in here, and the alerts of any kind of rates and the movements come in alerts. We also have our commentary section, so you'll be easily be able to find out this information about, in this case, Neil provides a lot of economic data. But we also have a daily video from Dan Rotwich, and you'll be able to find this information and then click on the link down below and be able to watch his videos. You can also take that link and just save it in your bookmarks, and you'll be able to listen to that at any time. You also have your lenders tab, where you'll be able to see the movements of the lenders and the average rate sheets for them, so you can see how people are pricing. And then you have your settings account, so you'll be able to go in here or on the desktop and be able to set your email alerts and such in these areas, and then update your schedule at the time. So you have all that information with your RateWatch app. So now let's move over to our Mortgage Coach app. So our Mortgage Coach app provides you a way to be able to view the reports on a mobile device. So when you're working and you send a link out to your borrower, they'll be able to see it at any time. They don't have to wait to get home to get on their laptop or desktop. They could just use their mobile device. So what I want to do is take in our link from today. So if you have the app, what I want you to do is type in, all you have to do, I'm going to make it easy for you so you can actually see. You can put the long link, and if you click on the link on a mobile device, it will take you directly to Edge. But I also want to show you how you could just quickly pull up a report. So if you have your mobile device open, let's go ahead and type in 16, N as in Nancy, 54, and a lowercase o. And this number here, if you look in the chat box, I have a link to my report that we're going to be working on. And this is just the digits of the identifier of the report itself. So I didn't have to type in that mcedge.tv. I was just able to do it by the link. And let me go ahead and type it because I erased it. 16N 54 lowercase o. And my video will show up shortly. But then it comes into your report. Just this here is the same report I'm looking at on the desktop that's behind it. So I'm going to click on Understand. You'll have your disclaimer language displayed here. Once I hit Understand, you'll be able to view the report just like you can on the desktop. Just one moment. Let me get that back. So when you're moving through it, we're going to work on a little bit more detail when we're working Edge Live, but just to be able to show you how things work, you just be able to click on the information on your report, and it will drive the app. So you'll be able to have that conversation with the consumer as well. So we're going to work a little bit more on the app and Edge Live, but I wanted to make sure you have that downloaded so when it comes to the time, you'll be able to work with me and be able to see that on your iPad as well. So let's go ahead and turn off my reflector. Okay, so now let's focus on the report itself. So last week what we did is we created a report comparing mortgage insurance. We have our monthly MI option here. We have our lender paid option. So the interest rate's slightly higher, but there's no monthly mortgage insurance. You have your single premium. The rate is the same as your monthly premium, but in this case you have that upfront subsidy amount to be able to pay down that mortgage insurance. Then we also have our 80-10-10 product. So what this is doing is providing a fixed loan at 80% LTV with 10% coming in as cash and 10% as a second lien. So with that, to be able to explain this more, if you want to build this report, I really focus on how to create it in our last week's training, and I'll be able to show you how you'll be able to get that, copy of it, and review it at the end. So now with the report itself, so to be able to review the report and understand it, you'll be able to go through a lot of different options. And what I want to do is go into our Edge account first. Let's just touch base with a little bit about the report, and then let's dive into Edge Live and start working with that reinvestment strategy. So what, if you have not logged into Edge, go ahead and log in. Again, that link is in the chat box. And if you have open up the question box in GoToMeeting, ask any kind of question. And just one moment, I have a question here from Jim. Okay, so Jim has a question on the mobile app. So let's just go back and let me bring up my mobile app again for you. Just one moment. Okay, so once you get the report itself, you do have a sample report that automatically comes with it. I touched history. You can see a list of all the reports I have opened up. So with that, when you click on a link, automatically, it will automatically open up the report if you have the app downloaded. If you don't have the app downloaded, it will direct you to the App Store for that download. Then you click on the link and it will just open up. But if you want to place in the number, say you have the report on your desktop like I had, you just come into your Edge, clear out whatever's in there, and then just type in the number itself to link. And let me show you. I'm going to go into my report, and we have a share button. And what that share button does is shows you that link to that report. You can post it on Facebook or Twitter, but to me, it's just a really quick way of accessing that number. So if you see, you have the HTTPS mcedge.tv. This part is automatic in the app. So all we want to focus on is this 6-digit number. So let's type in 16 lowercase n 54 lowercase 0. So 54 and then lowercase 0. And then after, whoops, let me bring my app back over. So you can see I just placed that number in here without that MC Edge TV. So the next thing I want to do is just press go, or you can just press the arrow. And with that arrow, and I've got big fingers again. Just one moment. Let me go ahead and place that number in. 16N54 lowercase 0. And it will just go ahead and open up to that app. So I hope that answered your question, Jim, and that's how you could go ahead and place numbers without having to take the link directly to your phone. So you could just look at the link. Great way if you're looking at the report, look at that share number or the share button, get that number here, and just place that number itself into your app. So, okay, let me go ahead and turn off my mobile device. There we go. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. If not, we're going to work with the app, so it gives us a little bit more information here. So with, let's go back. Let's log into Edge. Have your Edge account open, and let's go ahead and log in. So you'll see that I have the report when we log in. It's comparing MI. This is the last time I had touched it, and this is the one I want to work with. But say if I don't see my file here on the face, I can always go ahead and click on View All, and I know I have the title of MI. So that starts giving me anything with MI. So you notice the word Smith, anything at all will come up with that. So you can always shorten it if you know a specific date that you had entered it, or you can put anything in this reference field, and again, I'll show you how to do that. So in this case, this is the one I'm working on, is my monthly MI, comparing MI, and I was able to pull it in here. Another thing I like to do, it's just a little bit different. I do a lot of testing, and you might be doing quite a bit of marketing reports. So if you're making just generic reports, I like actually putting the link itself in my friendly name field. And the reason for it, a lot of times I know this number because I have the report, but which record is it that I want to look at? So if I place that link in here, and if I advance the screen, let me go back to home. Let me show you with the View All, and let me go ahead and paste that link in here. And you'll see that it will go ahead and refer to any file that has that link. So I want to be able to show you, again, how that friendly name field and how it is works with this filter here to be able to find reports. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. So that's our View All. So that's another way of finding and searching for reports. So going into our reports here, what I want to do is come to our presentation page, and I'm going to click on Generate Link. And for those of you who are new on this recording or this Thursday call, we do have an Introduction Edge course we hold every Friday at 9 o'clock, and this is the basics of Edge, where we go through, I'll create a report with you, and we're walking through the fields on what's necessary and what's not. So if you're unfamiliar with Edge or want any kind of brush up, attend our Friday course, and I'll show you at the end how you can register for that. So I had hovered my mouse over presentation, and I clicked on Preview, and that takes me to the very last screen within Edge. So what I want to do is generate the link, and this is how I got that link for my report. Every report that you create has a generic link. So with that, what I want to do is I want to start working with Edge Live. So if I click on that, it provides me a preview of my report. And with that preview, to be able to show you the difference with your copy as compared to the borrower's copy, is you have the tools for highlighting, and you also be able to clear out the highlights. And you'll also have the capabilities with Edge Live to drive the presentation with your client. So with that, how did I highlight? I just take my mouse over the field I want highlighted, and you'll see how it's outlined, the cells outlined in blue, and left click. And that's all you have to do, and it will highlight that field. If I click again, it unhighlights. If I click on the title of any product, it will also highlight. So that's one way you'll be able to highlight. And when you go into the More Info buttons, if there's anything that you want to bring attention to the client, highlight it. Like in this particular case, here's my mortgage insurance. I want to highlight that, showing that there's no other MI on the other products. So those are just to be able to, let me clear it out, all my highlights. And you'll be able to easily, when they go into the report the first time, see the items that are different so they could start understanding it. And then when you get on the phone with them and use Edge Live, you're really driving that home with them. So if I use the reinvestment strategy, you can see right now everything is empty. And this is the area we're going to dive into right now. And I'm going to keep this highlighted so you'll be able to see exactly where the changes are going to be. And you'll also notice on the 80-10-10 product, it's a first and a second lien. So we also can put principal directly to the second lien and be able to have that paid off sooner. So let me go ahead and close out this. Now what I would like you to do, if you don't have your Edge Live report up, I would like you to go ahead and click on that link in the report box. Again, this is just going to be able to show you how to be able to feel it as a consumer. So what I'm going to do is, let's go ahead and I'm copying the link, and let's open the report up. Let me close this one down. And what I'm going to show you is, this is if the client had clicked on the link on a desktop, this is what will pull up. And now what I'm going to do, and they have to click the disclaimer just like, as on the mobile device. You can see if you have more, you can go ahead and use that scroll bar. Once they click understand, they can view the report. If they don't click understand, they won't be able to get in here to view it. So now what I want to do is, let's use my dual screen. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this to my other page. Whoops, come on. Just one moment, let me minimize a few things. Okay, so let's bring this, my report over. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so going to my screen share. I'm going to show both screens. And this feature here, I had someone ask me about this on last week. And what this feature is a GoToMeeting. You should, at this point, see both my screens. My questions are hidden, so I'll be popping those up every so often. So if you have any kind of questions at all on the report where we're discussing it, just let me know, and I'll just keep popping that up and taking a look. So now you have your copy, which is on the right-hand side. You'll see that Clear All button at the base. And you'll notice on the client's copy, which is on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see there's not a Clear All button. And with that as well, if they put their mouse over any field, it can't highlight. So that's how you could determine which report's yours and which is the client's. So now what you want to do, as soon as you get them on the phone, you want to start discussing your products. And a lot of times people, borrowers just don't understand what is out there. They want a fixed rate loan. Their LTV happens to be less or greater than 80%, so they have MI. This is the product they're familiar with. But a lot of times they don't never heard of lender paid with the increase of interest rate, or the single premium, which I understand right now with the single premium. I understand that the depending on your loan size and what fees, this might bump you over that 3% threshold for the QM loans. I know they're still trying to figure out that, but I want to be able to show you this option. Then there's also the 80-10-10 product, and with that, you'll be able to show them how instead of paying mortgage insurance, you also could do a second lien, pick up 10%, and still only place 10% down. So with that, and to let you know, I worked in the industry. It's on my 31st year here. I know loan products. I work for a document service, so I programmed forms. I programmed, understood all the calculations. But until I came to Mortgage Coach, I never understood the single premium. And for someone who's been in the industry this long, I didn't know loan options. So this is a job for the loan officer. You guys know these options, and even if they only, ask for that fixed rate, provide them multiple options. Be able to educate them on their choices, because a lot of times they don't know what to ask. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and clear all. So when we come into the report, I always like starting in the upper left-hand corner, provides a lot of the meat, the data of the particular loans. Then I move over and discuss the monthly payment savings, and then dive into our short-term and then long-term area. So with that, you'll be able to discuss the monthly mortgage insurance. You can see on the left-hand side, it highlighted the column as well. Now I want to discuss with them their payment stream. So you could tell them for 84 months, you're going to have to collect mortgage insurance, and then it will be dropped from your loan. So you can see how you talk, you'll be able to have the same live interaction on their report. So even when I change the line item of the payment that you're going to discuss with the MI, it will highlight on their copy as well. Keeping with the payment stream button, I want to move over to the payment stream button for the 80-10-10 product. So with that payment stream button, you not only have your fixed rate loan, there's no mortgage insurance here, but you'll also have a second lien button, so you can also show the payment stream for the second lien. So you can be transparent on both of those. If you're doing ARM loans, it's always great to be able to show that payment stream to the client so they can see how that rate is adjusting. Again, educate them on those products. They'll be happy to be able to understand them. So there's your payment stream buttons. You have that conversation, and then with that conversation, you can start leading into the details. So with that, you click on the More Info button. You could start with the payment breakdown. First, what I want to do is close out and clear all my highlights out. And close this back up. So just one moment. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open up my More Info button. You'll be able to hold the conversation about the payment breakdown. You can identify that the MI is only for that first product, and the additional products don't have that monthly mortgage insurance. You can also describe your taxes and insurance, and you have your price value of the home, your P&I. You also have the P&I for that first and second lien. So you have that data here to discuss with them. You then can move over to the closing costs. Again, provide that transparency. You'll be able to show them where their down payment is, the loan to value. You can discuss those options with them. And then if you click on the fee details, you could go ahead and discuss your fees with them. So you'll be able to hold the conversation. I highlighted the word contribution. You'll be able to discuss that. You can see how I have this at 0. I have talked to other loan officers. They like, even if there's not a contribution and it's a purchase, they like having this line on their fees as an open item. Again, it's to help discuss, and possibly there is a seller contribution. So that's what other people do. Just want to be able to point that out to you. You'll be able to identify if it's an APR fee or if it's a prepaid escrow, meaning they're your reserves. You'll be able to discuss that as well. And you have your prepaid interest and the total amount of fees that are borrower paid down below. So again, with that transparency, you'll be able to talk to them about all those details, and you could talk to them about each of those products. So you could see that on this product for the single premium, it's going to cost them additional $7,000. They can either bring it to close, or they could go ahead and add it into loan amount. So again, depending on where you're at on that 3% threshold. So again, there's a lot of details where you can really explain it and provide all the differences between the loan options. Going to the reinvestment, we're just going to go into this in just a moment to be able to show you how you'll be able to make level payments as well as reinvesting that mortgage insurance. So closing that down, and again, just you would go through each of those quadrants. Say you were talking about the lender paid MI. You can also highlight each of those graphs, and there's no graph on the short term, and they all match up to that particular product. Going into the monthly payment savings, this is just nice to be able to show them the monthly payment information directly for that loan. So you really have that second lien information here just isolated by itself. So be able to discuss what the difference. Remember, the one without the graph is the highest cost payment. So there is no graph, and we're making savings between $35 and $143 over that monthly mortgage insurance. Now we're coming to our short-term savings. So diving into this, you can see there is no graph on the lender-paid MI, and that is the highest cost loan. And how do you know that? How do you explain this area to your client? So what this area is your unrecoverable cost. So if we go into our More Info button, we could then hold the conversation what that is. So your unrecoverable cost is your interest in MI, if it's applicable. So on those ones with no MI, it's only your straight interest. So you have all that information totaled, and then we total the fees because, again, that's an unrecoverable cost. So at that point, you have your total cost, and that's what we do our comparison with. And then you can see that the highest cost right now is that lender paid with the higher interest rate, and then you can see the savings of each of those products over that. So that's how you could be able to use this screen, be able to show them exactly what those mean. When we go into the reinvestment strategy, I'll also discuss how you can change the 60 to be able to hold that conversation on how long they plan to stay in the house. So lastly, we're coming to our long-term area, and that's interest in MI paid over 15 years. So going into your More Info, you do have your totals right here that shows exactly how much that total interest in MI. But with the screen, what I like is it does show your home value if you use that property appreciation rate. In this particular case, I have 3% in that field. And after each year, for a total of 15 years, this is how you'll be able to show them what that potential value it could increase. Then you have your loan balance. I like this. It'd be able to tell them exactly what that balance is at the end of that time period. So again, you can hold this whole, all this discussion. You can see how that left side is just really lighting up every time I move anything. So next, I want to go back into Edge, and let's start working on that reinvestment strategy. So what I'm going to do is click on my More Info button on the reinvestment strategy screen, and I'm just going to keep that open for a little bit. So I want to highlight it so you'll be able to see how the changes are going to occur. Let me highlighting. You can see how on my second lien, it is a 25-year lien. Let me check my questions. I do have a couple. Okay, I do have a question here from, Okay, so let me read my questions. I do have one from Lisa, and she's asking on the 80-10-10. Is the P&I IO for the first 10 years? So what we'll do is we'll dive into exactly how I keyed that in really quick. And the mass monthly payment, I do have that as a fixed second loan, so it is a fixed payment on this particular sample. We do have video tutorials if you're doing HELOCs, how to be able to key in a HELOC as your second lien as well. So now another question. Yes, so we'll go in there, Lisa, and I'll be able to show you exactly what, how it's calculated. So now let's do is let's jump into our Edge account, and I'm going to show you those areas. So let's just show you what that product is on my 80-10-10. What I have is just a fixed rate. I put 20% down in this field, and in this particular case, I'm keeping as the same rate as my fixed product here. Then the fees are all the same. I have my monthly cost. There is a button right here for second lien. So I have it marked yes, and now I'm going to cover the information for a second lien. So you can see it's just a straight fixed rate loan, $35,000 at 5% for a 25-year term. So say that term might be 10 years of IO, or maybe you have only a fixed period and the whole term is IO. So you can always identify it here. So if you do have an IO term, remember even if it matches the term itself, place it in the IO period. That's what's controlling that calculation. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this and just keep it as a fixed rate second for now. And if that didn't answer your question, go ahead. Oh, perfect. Great, Lisa. So now what we want to do is dive into the analysis. Now let's start working on that reinvestment strategy screen. So you do have your fees in this area if you did have them for the HELOC. But now it just takes you, we did create 4 products, and now we're just directly into our analysis screen. So when I mentioned on the long-term area about property appreciation, you could keep this at 0 if you don't want to show that appreciation, or find out what the number is in your area, and you can always make that modification. So the short term, this is the great conversation piece that I was talking to about that we're going to use shortly. But this 60 will be able to discuss the 60-month period of your products, but say they're going to stay in the house for a minimum of 7 years. So if that's the case, why don't you show the short term of 7 years? You know that's the minimum time period. So you have that information here to be able to provide them. And again, that's the live interaction that we're going to be showing with Edge shortly. And on the long-term area, you have that identifier as well. So if they plan to move in 10 years and don't plan to stay in the house, provide the long-term of 10 years. Or if they want to see what the full term of the loan, how it will look, you could change that as well. So I'm going to move it back to 15. And now you'll see the different options at the base that you can show. So you can show them the total interest in MI paid. We're working in the reinvestment, so we definitely want to be able to show them that net worth. And then if you want, you can show them the total principal paid. So it's really what you're focusing on the report is what you want to identify. But you can, when you're using Edge Live, show them each one of these areas and hold that conversation. So let me just go in here, and now what we're going to do, let me check my questions before I go back into dual screen. No? Okay, let me. So what I am going to do is let's go ahead and bring back up my second screen. So as we start modifying this, you'll be able to see how it's going to reflect on the report here. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. There's no items on the right-hand side right here that talks about reduction payment. So to go into the reinvestment strategy, you want to click on the Adjust Reinvestment Strategy button, and that's going to bring up a matrix for you. And with this, this is where you'll be able to show them how to apply money toward principal, how to be able to pay off that loan sooner. If you want, you could go ahead and reinvest that mortgage insurance after it has dropped from the loan, as well as being able to provide single premium. So the way this works, the first easy way I want to just show you is this top second line, your monthly savings. Monthly MI is the highest. It's red and it's showing 0. And then it shows the monthly savings over that product. So I want to make level payments. And the way to do that is I'm going to take that $34.50 and apply it to the reduction of principal. Now this payment, the $21.57 plus $34.50, is going to equal the same as the monthly payment for MI. I'm now going to do the same for each of the other products, put in $141.01, that savings, and $143.45. So with this could be something that you maybe want to show them to pay off the second lien first. So if they apply that monthly amount, see how it reduced just by adding that additional principal, it's pretty much cut that loan in half. So you can show them this, and the reason why I'm putting in level payments, because if they could afford this one payment, they could afford each one. And this way you're showing apples to apples with that monthly payment going out. So now let's see, take a look at the report and see how this is going to work out. So I'm going to press OK. I am bouncing my screen because that made the save to the system. If you notice on the right-hand side or left-hand side, the report made the adjustments. Now we have this reduction payment field here that they have, and you can see how you added that monthly savings, which again correlates with each of these graphs in the area and being applied to principal. You also be able to have their new freedom point. You can see how this one has been adjusted accordingly, and then your second lien freedom point. So that's a way to be able to hold that conversation about level payments. You can always start like I did when you start talking to them, and you can keep it just how it is. And then you can add the color. And you can add, hey, let me show you just by keeping everything level. So now you have the monthly payment level, but what happens at month 85? Your mortgage insurance has dropped. So now let's reinvest that mortgage insurance. So what I'm going to do is go back into our Edge account, and let me just check for questions real quick. Okay, Michael is saying that you're not getting the full chart. I've never had that question before. Let's go in there. What you should do, all I'm doing is clicking on reinvestment. Maybe you have a smaller screen. I'm not quite sure. I know this is movable. If you don't get it on the call, it would be nice if you could just do a screenshot, be able to show us what you're seeing, and email us at support@Mortgage Coach, and let's figure that out, because you should be able to see it just like mine. It could be if you have a smaller screen and it's hiding. It could be something like that. So now what we want to do is focus on our monthly mortgage insurance, and let's reinvest that. So another item is just double-click on that field. And at the very base, when you come into this reduction payment schedule, and this is good to be able to, if they have a home and it hasn't sold, and they want to apply that money to this current loan, but it might not be to 6 or 12 months down the road. You can show them that as well through the option. But first, let's just do MI. And right at the base, it tells you what month that there's no longer MI and how much the last payment of mortgage insurance was. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my number 1, and I'm going to place in 85. And then with my dollar amount, I'm putting in the monthly amount of my MI. So at this point, at month 85, unless I tell it to stop, it will be applying that MI for the rest of the loan. So reinvest it back in. You've been making that same payment. Show them how it will help you as well, paying off that loan quicker. So I'm just going to leave it here. Let's press OK. We'll come back in and play with this screen a little bit more. I'm going to press OK, and let's go check out our report. So it's going to go ahead and update, and now you'll notice there is a custom button here. And so let's take a look at our More Info button, and let's check out that reinvestment strategy. So coming in here, now you have a custom button. It's a little bit different than just the straight numbers, but in here it will open up the reduction payment schedule so they can see that at month 85 you reinvested that mortgage insurance. And with that, you have a new freedom point of 26.33 years. So now let's just take a look at the face of the report itself, and let's just see how things have changed. Our monthly payment savings is always going to be the same because that's not changing. It's just focusing on the MI. But by reinvesting, the MIs changed these numbers a little bit, so compared over that lender paid. So you can start seeing the changes on the graphs as well as the numbers that are appearing here. So now let's go back into Edge, and let me check my questions. Okay, nothing yet. So let's go back into our reinvestment strategy, and let me show you how you could do a lump sum payment. So let's just use this one. And you would have to do a lump sum payment. Let me see. Oh, okay. So in this particular case, say I'm getting $100,000 and I want to apply it 12 months down the road. So what you could do, that you have your buttons here, add and delete. So I'm clicking on add. At month 12, I want to apply $100,000. And with that, you can also change it to include the MI, or the monthly savings. So you would actually put 100. That way it just keeps everything the same. But with this, you need to stop the payment of $100,000 going back into principal every month. And to do that, click on Add again. Month 13, I'm just going to go ahead and put in that savings. Now this has stopped that $100,000 being applied every month, and it just goes back to that $3,450. So you can do this anywhere, any number schematic down the road. If they might be getting more money 5 years down the road, you'll be able to see how this is done. So with that, let's just go ahead and press OK. It's going to be a little bit skewed on our report, but I would just want to be able to show you how that's going to apply and how that's going to look. So let's take a look at our report. So now you see, wow, I've just paid $100,000 toward my lender-paid MI, and that is definitely the product that is going to speed up with the savings. But again, if you did $100,000 applied at one product, you need to do it for all. So just remember that, and that's just logical sense. So let's go back to Edge. Let's go back into the reinvestment strategy, and I'm going to remove that $100,000. And all you have to do is highlight and then press delete. And I'm just going ahead and clean up that second line item. So now we're back just at the pure savings. So with what I have done on each of these areas, now let's go ahead and do that reinvestment. We know at 10.9 years, they will no longer need that savings. The loan will pay off. So let's just say at 11 years, let's apply that savings over to the 30-year. So let's go ahead at the 11th year. It's 132 months. And let's put in that 143.45. Whoops. 143. And press OK. So now with it, we've reinvested our MI. Keep everything level again. Nothing changes with your payment on your lender-paid MI or same with your single premium. So we've made the adjustment to pay off the second lien earlier and then took it after 11 years and reapplied it to the principal on the first. So with that now, you can see how the freedom point has also changed on the second lien. So you, by doing that additional savings, applying it, they taken their 25-year term, made it 10.92, and same with their 30-year, it's a little bit over 27 years. So it gives you an idea how you'll be able to hold that conversation and be able to show them the different options. You know, the report just on the left-hand side, you can see how all your adjustments that you're making in Edge do appear live on the report with them. So let me go ahead. Okay. And another option I want to show you is at the very lower corner of your preview, you'll see that I have two viewers. What that means, that's letting you know if anyone is watching the report with you. So if you call up the client and he goes, yeah, I'm following along. If this is at 0, he's not following along. So that's your little clue if there's a number in that area. So now what I want to do is let's work on the short term and the long term. So let's change these numbers. So when you're holding that conversation with your client, you want to ask them, you know, how long do you plan to be in this home? Do you have any plans to sell at any period or upgrade? You would just go ahead and modify these numbers accordingly. So like I said earlier, say they're going to be in their house for 7 years, so you want to be able to show that option. You could come in and put 84 months. And you could start with 60 and 15 if you haven't held the discussion yet. Yeah, and then modify it with Edge Live. So you're, you know, 84 years, you might stay here for another 10 moving. They definitely know they're moving between 7 and 10 years. So now we've adjusted both our short term and our long term. And now watch the left-hand side. So as soon as I press the arrow key, again, that saves my data, and it's going to go ahead and reflect on the loan. What will happen is that the information, you see how it just changed from 84 to 10 years. So they can be able to see exactly, again, what is the correct product for them during their time period. So now we're showing interest in MIs. You know, let's go ahead and check out our net worth because we did do a reduction of payment. So if I go back into Edge, let's change the screen to reflect now net worth. Advance my screen, and you can see on the right-hand or left-hand side that the interest in MI is going to change to their net worth. So you see that change, and then you'll have the information here. And then you can see how it's green, and then at the top is orange. And you look at the legend down here. That's your equity versus your assets. So you'll be able to see that, and if you click on the more info, you'll be able to have more information about the investment balance if you use the savings or investment, but again, the total principal. So you'll be able to have the information listed here, and again, how the graphs change. And if you have the mobile device on, all this will be happening on the mobile device where you're driving that report into each of these areas. So now let's go back to Edge. And now what I want to do, you could do the same thing with Principal, and you're set. So that's that should give you a good understanding on Edge Live and how to be able to work that. Let me check this question. Now what I want to do is show you, let me go ahead and put it back on one screen. And I want to show you how to copy the products itself. And the reason why it's not so much copying products, be able to use it, orchestrate how you want the flow of products, but you then can cross over. You could take these products, develop the open house flyer, as well as vice versa. So now let's go into our products, and let's take a look at the report. Say for some reason I want to move my monthly MI into my single premium field. And say I want to remove my 80-10-10. So what I'm going to do, first off, is hover my mouse over and click on Select Presentation. This is how you remove a product. So say I don't want to show the single premium. It didn't work in my fee test. It is over that 3%. So I want to remove it from my report. So by unchecking that box, it's then going to take the single premium and remove it from your report. So you always have to remember to advance the screen, and it will go ahead and make the adjustment. So see how it just did that accordingly? Now we only have those 3 products. So now let's take the products and we want to rearrange them. So let's go ahead and take a look, go back into Edge. So remember, it was hover your mouse over Presentation to select Report, and this is where you can remove items. So now I'm going to take my first product, my monthly MI, and I want to put it in the slot for my my 80-10-10, and then take my 80-10-10 and put it in the first slot. So what I want to do first is, in my monthly MI, in the third screen is your save as a template. So what we're going to do, because the way the screens are set up, you just can't reorder them. But what you can do is save it as a template. So it came up with the title, and I'm just going to do Product 1, just so you can see it, and I'm pressing OK. So now let's move to our 80-10-10. Again, I hover my mouse over Products, and I click on 80-10-10. So now with that, let's go into the last screen, here, and let's go ahead and save this as a template as well. In this case, it was Product 4. So now that I have my products are saved, and where they're saved is in the template field. So if I click on my templates, you can see that I have other templates within here, and you have my monthly MI and my 80-10-10. So since this is the 80-10-10, I'm going to select my monthly MI product. You got to remember to change your title. But you see by creating that template, it copied everything that I had in the first product, and it carried it over for me. All my fees carried over, as well as my monthly costs. So once I have that in there, now let's change it to the 80-10-10. So with the 80-10-10, I'm coming to my product template, and I'm clicking on 80-10-10, and all that information carried over. And I want to change my title. So you'll see as you go through, you have all the fees here. You have it marked, didn't carry over, so yes. And I just found a bug. I'm going to have to fix it. The copy isn't carrying the loan amount for the second lien. But that gives you an idea how you'll be able to switch it. If you take a look at the report itself, you now have all 3 reports, and they've been readjusted. So now let's see how you can use the same strategy and now place it in the open house flyer. So if I click on Home, we have our clients, which are the total cost analysis and rent versus own at the top. Then we have our open house flyer and seller buy down at the base. So if I went in and clicked on New Partner, that starts my open house flyer. And I'm just going directly to the products now. So what I'd be able to do is find the product that I had for my TCA, my monthly MI. Oops, I should have put in my loan amount. $300,000. And you'll see how the down payment, everything calculated for me, my fees carried over for me, and all my monthly costs. So that is one way if you're developing an open house flyer and want to be able to send a total cost analysis to your realtor. This is a way to speed you up through the process, and your products are going to be exact, and and the best thing, you're not doing dual data entry on that. So that's how you could cross over with your product templates and be able to share them. And with that, when you start developing them, maybe you want to clean up your area, you have the settings over here. And with those settings, this is where your product templates and your fee templates are stored for you. So you can see that I have my MI product 1 and my 80-10-10 product 4. So with that, you'd be able to, afterwards, you could, if you want, just delete them, and they'll no longer be in your pick list. So a lot of times with that, because the loan amount, the rate is specific, you might not want to keep that around for a bit, but at least you have the option. So this is where you clean it up, as well as create any other type of product template. You also have your fee templates are listed here. If you ever need to come in here and make any kind of adjustments, you could go ahead and do so. You could just say maybe this was raised, increased to $1,400. Make the adjustment. Next time you pull these templates, these changes are going to be on there. Next, with it, you have also the description. Say if you made a custom fee, if you did a typo, this button over here that says fees allows you to make any kind of changes to this description. And you'll also see that there's a percentage calculation for your fee. You can, in your custom fees, determine if that percentage goes off the loan amount or your property value. So you do have items here that you'd be able to customize, as well as if you want to delete them, you could go ahead and delete those as well. So go ahead and cancel this out. Let me check my question there. So with that, and then also once you build a fee template, definitely come in here. You can keep building them when you're doing the code, but you do have, just one moment, let me get my, okay. With that, you do have a Save As button, and what that Save As button does is copy a template. So once I have a fee template built, you can build it when you're creating your product, and you can save a template in there, just like I saved my product template. But you just, for those who are unfamiliar, you just click Add Fee. You see how a couple line items come down. You search for them. Or you can add a custom fee, which provides you your own label, and you can determine, make sure it's marked APR if it is, percentage going off loan amount account. So that's how you start building these screens. But once you have it set up, you do want to click Save As, and you'll be able to create a new fee template, make the adjustments for the fees, and it actually gets going through here a lot quicker. So any questions that you want to go over why I'm on the phone? I'm going to be doing a little bit of cleanup right now, but if there's something you want to address, please put it in the question box so I can address it for you. The one thing I do want to point out is if you go to, and the link is in the chat box as well, if you go to our webpage, we have a community tab here. You can see different video tutorials that other people have created and shared. Make sure you put a video on your report and be able to communicate with your client. And these are just other examples, gives you an idea of how you can use Edge to be able to work with your clients as well as do a little bit of marketing reports. So with that, also going into your Edge account, there's the Help button. And with that Help button, it brings you to our video tutorials. And besides the video tutorials, I want to point out the coaching calls because we had some great calls this last week. With that, if you click here to access our calls, here you have today's call will go ahead and be placed down here for our Thursday calls. You can see the beginning of the report we did last week is right here, so if you want a continuation, you could go ahead and click on the one. We'll have it posted later today. We also have our other coaching calls in here, and if you haven't signed up for the Tuesday coaching calls, click here, as well as the Thursday training. Obviously, you've done that. But we always have everything recorded, and you'll be able to see it in this area here. And again, just access that from the Help button within Edge, and you'll be able to see everything. We also have a monthly calendar of events, be able to show you different training calls. If you have other people in your office that want to go through this introductory Edge course, or the training course. This is that Friday's course. So if you're wanting to get more strength, want to be able to understand exactly what fields, come to this Friday class. I go through slowly, explaining the fields, but also tell you the minimum amount of fields that are necessary. So it really helps you out building out the report, especially when you have short time. So you or anyone else in the office, please spread the word about that introductory class. And how do you use that knowledge base? So we have very many video tutorials that you can access. Here's a custom one for the reinvestment strategy. We provide a YouTube link, but if you can't access YouTube within your office, we do have a direct download. This will cover all about the MI drop-off, or reinvesting it, one lump sum payments, things like that. Also, how to read the TCA. You want to get that a little bit more understanding on how to read it. Come in here, be able to watch that video tutorial. We also have quick tips down at the base. These are really quick, less than 3-minute items you'll be able to look at. And if you haven't seen or you don't see your video asset here, what you're trying to look at, we have a search engine. So if I wanted to search on MI, I'd be able to do that and get any video tutorial or frequently asked questions according to that. But if you can't find your asset, just contact us at support. If we might have it, we'd be able to provide it to you. And you'd be able to, if we don't have it, we'll create it for you. Because if you have the question, everyone has the question. And Lisa, I'll go ahead and send you that intro class link. It is on the home page if you want to sign up for it right here, just by going into calendar of events. But I'll make sure you're on there and get registered. So, okay, perfect, Lisa. As you're going through it, we're going to be wrapping up our call today, but if you want to see a specific report and specific items to be learned in EDGE, just please email us at support. We'll go ahead and develop that Thursday training to be able to show you what you want to learn. So please, we're here for you. Let us know what you want to be able to learn in EDGE, and so we can get you proficient and you're out there creating those reports and speeding up that commitment process and educating the client at the same time. So everyone, thank you very much for attending. We'll see you tomorrow if you're going to be on the intro call. If not, we'll see you back next Thursday. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.